This is N4LQ, Steve in Shelby, North Carolina, calling CQ, the old friends net. Hello CQ, calling CQ, the old friends net. The old friends net meets here on 3715 every Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. and every Tuesday morning on the same frequency at 9 a.m. and on Thursdays at 9 a.m. We are AM only, and we appreciate knowing what you're running. If you'd like to tell us, we will take a list of check-ins, put them in order, and then let you know the orders so you can take your turn in the old-fashioned round table. So let's go ahead and start the check-ins. Call N4LQ now.
A4LLR, good afternoon.
KZ4 Bravo.
KG4 IUQ.
KN4R. WB4 NKL.
K1VVC.
November 4 Alpha Kilo and 4 AK.
WA4 EVK.
Well, any more check-ins? Give N4LQ a call now, please.
K4 BWD.
N4WD.
Okay, one more time. Any more check-ins? Call me now. We're kind of slow tonight. Okay. Here is the list that I have got in this order. WA4LLR, KZ4B, KG4IUQ, KN4R, WB4NKL, K1 Victor Charlie, N4AK, WA4EVK, K4VWD, and N4WD. One more time for check-ins.
W4MEEC.
All right, we will add W4MEC at the end, and N4WD will turn it over to you. Any more check-ins? One more time. All right, real quick, LLR, KZ4B, IUQ, KN4R, NKL, the VVC, the AK, EVK, VWD, WD, and MEC. If no more check-ins, we'll start the round table now. I'm running the AF-68 here, driving the AL-1200. And the antenna is the horizontal loop, and of course AM mode, and the D104, and it's 71 degrees. Man, I took a walk a while ago, and I actually got a little bit on the warm side. So good evening, Dave. Take it away. WA4LLR, N4LQ.
Okay, Steve, fine business. N4LQ. And the old friends, WA4LLR, good afternoon, good evening to everybody on the net. So far, everybody sounds good. It's 70 degrees. Well, the thermometer said it just dropped down to 69, but it was 70 when I came down into the shack a moment ago. Running the ART-13 and listening on the HRO50T1 and to a horizontal dipole about 50 feet. So that's the rundown here. Been a absolutely gorgeous day. It got up somewhere between 78 and 80. So that's kind of strange weather for the end of October. But It's changing. John, down to you. How are things where you are? KZ4B, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR in the group KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, Dave. Things are great here. Great weather. Like Brian says, we could use a little rain, but this is beautiful weather, and I need it. I'm working on a project running cable and conduit from my service entrance panel around to the garage where my portable generator is stored, and I wanted to get that done before winter. And I got all the conduit in. I'll start pulling wire to the cable tomorrow, and hopefully that goes smoothly. And so, over to you, Mark. KG4IUQ in the group, KZ4B, over.
Thank you very much, John. This is Mark, KG4IUQ in Shelby. I'm on my multi-Elmac AF-68 with the multi-Elmac PMR8 receiver, and I'm using an amplifier, Meritron AL811H, and I'm using a 80 meters dipole that's down low. It might be 20 feet, I don't know. But everything's going well here. I've been working on a VFO, been putting in a lot of work on it, you know, and learning a lot of things. I'm going to turn it over to Brian, KN4R. This is KG4IUQ.
Okay, Mark, very good, KG4IUQ. And the Sunday old friends, this is Brian, KN4R, in Sherrills Ford, where it's also been beautiful. A beautiful Indian summer, as they used to say. But I think earlier when I was waiting for the net, I thought I heard a little lightning in the distance. So, Dave, you're our scout when it comes to rain. So keep us surprised if you happen to see any coming your way there. I'm hoping for some soon. Let's see, I'm on the Globe Champ, running a couple hundred watts here, listing on the black HRO that predates Pearl Harbor. So there you go. And the transmitter's acting a little funny. I've been losing grid drive on this Globe Champ, but if I take it out of the case, all is well. So it's out of the case, and I've got a couple of little sticky notes on it saying, do not touch. So there you go. So over to you, Cliff, WB4NKL in the group, KN4R. Now, KN4R, it's WB4NKL. I guess just take that case to the scrapyard, Brian. It's been nice here all day today. Got about 70 here now, but they say the colder weather is on its way. I'm running a Tram Titan CB rig that I converted over to 75 meters. Sort of revenge on the CBers for running all those ham rigs. And it's running about 4 watts out and driving a power of 813s up to about 65 watts. So send it on around. Everybody's sounding great here on the Tram Titan. I got it on the receive also. Go ahead, John. K1 VVCs, WB4NKL.
Yeah, very good. Thanks a lot, Cliff. And you sound great down here. As a matter of fact, everybody does this, like zero noise, background noise. I think I'm reading like an S1 maybe. So it's nice and quiet. And I'm using a modern radio today. I don't know why, I just decided to put it on. It's my Yaesu FTDX5000, and it's, I guess I got about 40 watts out to a Dentron MLA 2500 amplifier, which is got almost 200 watts output, so that's what's working here. Beautiful day here also. Got up to the low 80s. I think it's 78 degrees now. I think this Thursday is lunch at the Golden Corral. Lee, I will be by the usual time, not to be concerned. And Charlie, a quick message for you. I was able to find plenty of 1625, but where I thought I had the 837s, I did not. So I'm going to keep looking. Glenn, over to you, N4AK. K1VVC.
Okay, John. K1VVC in the group, November 4 Alpha Kilo. I'm on FT991 Alpha, and I've been playing with audio and all that stuff, so if it sounds satisfactory here on AM, please let me know. Audio gain about 50, so I don't know what it should be. So the way it's working, I'm driving an AL811H with about 12 watts, giving me about 150 watts out. And tonight I'm on a inverted V antenna. It's not very high either. The center is only about 30 feet up in the air. So it's a pretty quiet antenna, quieter than my big doublet. So that's why I'm on it. So anyway, appreciate these comments. Nice on tonight. Everybody, amazingly, no matter what power you're running, it looks like you're about 20-25 over 9 so far. Mark, you were running 25 over 9, so nice signal in here. And Cliff, the tram was running 20 over 9. So audio sounds good, just like you. And I tuned around today. There's a big contest on. I'm not a contester, but I was listening for any stations maybe I'd never worked, and French Guiana, FY5 KE was on the air, so I wanted him in my log just for my own satisfaction. So, just mostly listening. A lot of activity on the band. 10 was wide open. So, boom, neighbor, over to you. WA4ABK, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
N4AK, WA4ABK. Well, good evening, neighbor and the group. I'm running the same Japanese box. However, I hope to move it out of position next week. I've completed my power supply for my Malta Elmac. It's been a beautiful day. I've had a hard time even walking outside. It's about 75 degrees here. Doing real well. Everything I've seen about the weather, it's bearing down on us. We're going to have some pretty cold weather here. So, and with that, I'm going to pass it on over to Lee. K4VWD, we'll take it. WA4VK.
Okay, Boone, thank you very much. This is K4VWD. Well, it's 73 degrees here, and the sun was shining all day today, but it's setting now, beginning to darken up. And I was watching the weather over there about 15 minutes ago, and they said we're in severe drought now, so we need some rain. Steve, thank you very much for the November schedule. Thank you. And Charlie, thank you for the email. It's good to know that the amplifier is repaired. Brian, do you need to repair that case? You got a problem with the case because you're taking the case off and the radio works good. And thank you for mentioning the lunch, John. Yep, we got a lunch Thursday at the Golden Corral in Spartanburg. Look forward to seeing everybody there. And Glenn, you're below S9 here. Sounds to me like the audio's down a little bit, but there's some USB and whatnot. But I was able to copy 100%. So, Bruce, here she comes, N4WD in the group, K4VWD.
All right, K4VWD, N4WD. 80 degrees, and in September and October, we've had a total of 0.044 inches of rain. Yeah, we're in a drought. Been back, cutting back the flowers, getting ready to cover the root set, the bulbs, put some mulch on top of them. They already dried out, so put out their last of the dahlia flowers. So we'll get them again next year, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Other than that, been working on some pies, getting some, not kind you eat, but raspberry pies, updating some firmware and software on them. So that's it from here. W4MEC N4WD.
Good, Bruce. N4WD and the old friends W4MEC. Real good. Well, everybody was moving in on the check-in and sounding good, but that round there got a little QSBE. Yeah, and I noticed Glenn had some deep drops on him too, so band's changing, I guess. Yes, it was a beautiful day, man. I had to, my darn tree in the pond project is about to wear me out, and I've been struggling with getting the darn things out of there. And I realized I was spending too much time digging in the mud to get the darn log chain around the darn log. So I went up to Northern Tool up there in Asheville and bought me a set of skidder tongs there that'll glom onto those logs, and I'll be able to get them up and out of there now and quit fooling around with this mud hole I'm swimming or getting wading in, sticking in, and getting gooped up in. So I'm gonna try that tomorrow. And while we're up there, we went up, wife and I went to eat lunch at J&S Cafeteria. Interesting place. I mean, we had one here right up in at the airport. And about 10 years ago, they kind of shut down and went out of business when the family decided they didn't want a whole bunch of restaurants in North Carolina anymore. So we kind of timed it and went up there, and the food was just as good as it was up there at the other J&S. And there was a couple things we used to like to get up there. They do some great country fried steak, and my wife said it was great. And they do a fried fish is wonderful, and it was perfect too for me. So we found another place to eat now and then up that way, and it was a beautiful drive, making this giant loop over that way, over to Asheville and back down again. So staying off the interstate, of course. It's all two-lane road, so it was definitely a pretty day. All right, did I comment on George? George is in Pigeon Forge, so that's the reason we have not heard him. He's okay, he just doesn't have a computer or a rig, so I would think vacationing in Pigeon Forge without a rig might be punishment, but he's coming back this week. Let's see, back up to you, N4LQ, W4MEC. Okay, it's N4LQ. We have any late check-ins? Give me a call. Well, don't hear anything. Okay, George is in the forge. He's not too far away. Charlie's ART-13, no, LLR's ART-13. I don't know what Charlie's running. Must be the Apache. But, yeah, Dave, sounds good, Dave. And let's see, anything that's unusual, I don't think. Brian on his Big Champ. Sounds good, just don't put it in the case. That is a weird dude. That's been dragging on for about 5 years now. I remember working on that and getting it all fixed, and you got it back and put it in the case and it quit. And that's before we moved. Oh man. And let's see, Cliff and your Tram CB sounds good. Did a good job of modifying that, taking the chicken band out of it. And John, that giant rice box sounds good. And Glenn, your signal's a little down today, but I guess that's the antenna. You know, this depends on which one you use. But I've noticed some changing in the band, and I looked at the lightning map because I heard some crashes too, and it corresponds to a storm out to the west of Dallas, Texas. There's nothing else in this sector of the country at all. There's some way out in the Atlantic Ocean, but I don't think we're hearing that. I think it's Texas, which, of course, the lightning has an advantage over hams. It's up high, so it gets here. And let's see, Boone, you're sounding a lot better. Able to copy, no distortion. So, and I'm anxious to hear that AF-68 when you do get it going. And let's see, Charlie and his tree, getting stuck in the mud. You're doing pretty good if you found mud. Man, it hasn't rained for a long time, and we were getting predictions of a 1/4 inch for Tuesday, but now they've lowered that to 0.02 inches, which is little more than a dew. Looking forward to the Golden Corral Thursday luncheon at 11:30 in Spartanburg with the old friends. Be there or be square, and bring something to sell, bring money to spend, and maybe we'll get some more chicken liver. I ate at Golden Corral here last week in Shelby and feasted on chicken liver. It's good stuff. Been playing around with the little DDS VFO / transmitter, little tiny thing that I got from the guy in Greece, and a little amplifier. It puts out 2 watts AM. I tried to run it through through one of these brick type CB amplifiers, and it just came out pure distortion. I don't think that thing is linear, but the Greek Greek transmitter sounds beautiful. So I've been put your thinking cap on. I've been toying with the idea of feeding that 2 watts into a tube type transmitter, such as an AF-68 or a 67, trying to figure out where to feed it in, how to match it up, and how to bias these various stages so that they are linear. And I guess I would use cathode bias. Hopefully that will work. But just another interesting project I have been tinkering with here. So Dave, take it away, WA4LLR, N4LQ.
N4LQ and the group WA4LLR, good deal. All the Elmacs are sounding good, and the Globe Champ sounds good. I'm not hearing any hum on it, I don't think, or I didn't detect it. And Cliff, the Tram Titan, is doing a great job for you. I have to chuckle every time I think about that, but anyway. And the solid state stuff sounds okay also. Brian, not much to report in the way of moisture, brother. I was just looking at the report, and they're giving us the most I see is Monday night, Tuesday, 24% chance, which is, you know, a 76% chance that we're not going to get any. And that's it for a week. I mean, none, really. The only noteworthy thing in the weather report is Tuesday's high of 47 and low of 23. So, oh man, anyhow. Let's see, not a whole lot going on radio-wise here. Haven't been tinkering with much between physical therapy and trying to get some stuff done around the house. Just got back from church. We're over there trying to get things set up for our Hallelujah thing we do on Halloween night for the kids, and looking forward to that. I get back to physical therapy tomorrow, and boy, I'm looking really forward to that. Space weather, sunspot count 70, solar flux index 128, and the K is 1.33. They're saying we're having some sporadic minor geomagnetic storms, but don't seem to be hurting anything. A few things on this day in history. On this day in 1998, John Glenn returned to space in a shuttle this time. On this day in 1929, the stock market crashed on Black Tuesday. On this day in 1901, President William McKinley's assassin was executed. On this day in 1858, the first store opened in the frontier town of Denver, Colorado. On this day in 1956, Israel invaded Egypt for control of the Suez Canal. And on this day in 1618, Sir Walter Raleigh was executed. So that's a few things on this day in history. Down to you, John. KZ4B, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR in the group, KZ4B, fine business today. Good copy as always. I noted your ART-13 sounds great, but very often you're on the BC-610, and it sounds great too. And I want to remind everybody I've still got a BC-610E right at the end of the war model for sale, and want to throw that out there. I forgot on the last round to say what I was running. I'm running the usual Tech Eagle, driving a Titan 1 that has a pair of 3CX800 A7s, good amplifier. It's driving a Palstar AT5K antenna tuner that in turn is feeding ladder line to a G5RB cut for 160 meters. It's 200 feet end to end. And so that's the setup here. So, over to you, Mark. KG4 IYQ in the group, IUQ, excuse me. This is KZ4 Bravo, over.
Thank you very much, John. Everybody's sounding good here. Sounds really good, and I think it's amazing what Steve says he's doing with the VFO from Greece. I'm just kind of I'm learning a lot from where I'm at. I've actually learned quite a bit of things that I'm not going to even go into, but I've learned a lot. I used to have a hobby of basic electronics, and I've kind of picked it back up since I got this multi-Elmac radio. Been setting up this VFO, and I'm having to switch with I use a one-shot multi-vibrator that's switched with, it's this thing is switched on with a foot switch, and then it is causing a FET transistor to switch where you would normally use a button on the VFO, and it works rather well. It doesn't really fail unless there's some kind of interference getting into it. And the biggest interference I have found has been relay pulses, like backfly or something. I guess that's what it is. It's whenever the relay's on, the power in it, and you let the power out, that power goes back out in the wires, and that causes trouble. And I disconnected a TR relay, put one in its place that uses batteries. Not batteries, it's a lower voltage power supply, and it's kind of isolated. I use a kind of a homemade opto isolator that don't let the relay backfly get back up into my circuitry where the VFO is, and it all works just fine. It's kind of something I'm going to go ahead and build it now that I see that it's working. And been learning a lot of things. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Brian, KN4R. This is KG4IUQ.
Okay, Mark, very good. KG4IUQ in the group, KN4R. All signals are just unbelievably strong tonight. Everybody's signal sounds terrific. And Mark, very good on your electronic projects there. That's terrific. John, I wanted to thank you for the heads up on the old national RHP with the module, with the plug-in module that I needed to complete mine. And I made him an offer. He took it, and it came yesterday. And you know, it looks too good to part it out. So I'm going to try to fix it up too. So anyway, I really appreciate the heads up. So very good on Charlie. Very good on JNS. I do love cafeterias, and the one in Hickory closed some years ago, and I think there's still one up in Statesville, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But I haven't been to a cafeteria in a while, but I do like them because I like going down the row and just seeing what I can have and taking whatever I want. So it's kind of like Golden Corral. So like Steve, I'm looking forward to the chicken livers, hopefully. So Cliff, the Tram Titan CB sounds terrific, and so congratulations on that. So that's pretty cool. So send us a picture of that when you have a chance. So anyway, over to you. WB4NKL in the group, KN4R.
Now KN4R, WB4NKL. Okay, Brian, I'll try to get that one, get one of those sent. I'm running a Crystal, 3715 Crystal, which is about 700 cycles low, as close as I could get on the frequency. But hopefully that's not giving me much problem. I'm looking forward to Hamfest coming up here this weekend. Plan on going down to Lawrenceville next weekend and probably leave here sometime Friday. I got a room down there for Friday night, so maybe see some of you down at the Hamfest. And I don't guess I'll get to make it to the luncheon this time. Chuck wants to come down again, but we might wait another month. Maybe shoot for December. Try to make it back down there. We enjoyed it the last trip. So send it on around. Go ahead, John. I guess you're heading to Lawrenceville. K1 VVC, WB4NKL.
Yeah, very good. WB4NKL, K1 VVC. Yeah, I'm planning on going down Friday afternoon, so I'm sure I'll see you there. As a matter of fact, I just looked at the extended weather forecast. It's supposed to be beautiful sunny days, but a little bit on the cool side in the mid-60s in Atlanta and the upper 30s Saturday morning. So it'll be a little chilly, but anybody that's been to Lawrenceville, the weather could be pretty interesting there. So definitely looking forward to that. Everybody's coming through really good tonight. And if there's anything anybody needs me to bring to for them to the lunch on Thursday, let me know. I'll try and dig it up. So that's about all that's going on here. I'm gonna just got a small group today. Surprised 2 weeks ago when we were loaded twice as many people, and for whatever reason a little bit short today. Glenn, over to you. You're coming through fine. I think the audio seems a little bit low though. Might need a little more audio. N4AK, K1VVC.
Okay, John, K1VVC, pumped up the audio, gained a little bit. N4AK, there's a lot of QRM on frequency. I think South American guys or something, I'm not sure. I didn't get the call, but I think they're on sideband. But temperature here is 74 degrees over here in the Sunset. And I think we're supposed to get our first freeze here in Sunset on Wednesday and Thursday, maybe be down to below freezing. So that's the word I've got. So, gee whiz, just something to think about. I don't think Adam and Eve had a belly button, did they, Dave? Anyway, what do you think? WA4EVK and 4AK.
N4 AK in the group, WA4EVK. Well, that one certainly came out of left field at me there, Glenn. Given their origin, I doubt if they did. Boy, I tell you, those South American guys, whoever they are, really storming in here pretty strong. So I'm going to send it down to Lee. K4VWD, WA4EVK.
Okay, thank you, Boone. WA4EVK, K4VWD. Well, looking at my estimator, Steve, you're the top dog. You not quite pegging it, but close. And John, thank you for mentioning the lunch. I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, we're going to need to bring the amplifier back and hook it up if you got time. I sure hope you do. And things are fine here at my house, and I'm using my regular rig that I normally use. I've got a little more power output this evening than I've been having. I've got 45 watts out. I can't hardly believe it. But anyway, it's an Elmac AF-68 receiving on the PMRA, and it's driving the, going through the 10-take tuner ladder line to a dipole that's 139 feet long, and it's up about 50 or 60 feet, those that want to know. So, with that, I'm going to keep it going. Bruce, here she comes. N4WD in the group, K4VWD.
N4WD. Well, everybody's sounding good compared to last weekend. Actually, the South American dudes are down there, but they're not bothering anybody. So, that's okay. And that tram, that's interesting. I think I got one sitting around somewhere. That might be a project for we don't get no more moisture and rain or snow during the winter. Ain't gonna be doing much anyway, except trying to stay warm. We'll say everybody have a good rest of the week, and we'll hang in here. And I guess, well, no, it's not final round. We'll just say here comes W4MEVK N4W.
Real good, Bruce. N4WD and the old friends, W4MEC. Well, I'll tell you, that the South American stuff was, if that's where it's coming from. It must be right on 3715 because everybody's demodulating it. I couldn't even copy Glenn. He was so covered up with that sideband. So, anyway, we're running a Apache and Mohawk here through a Heathkit tuner and the ladder line to a dipole, the normal station. I was working to get the ART-13 on the air today, but I didn't make it. I had a receiver married up with it, a BC 368, but I couldn't get him to cooperate today. Let's see, what else do I have here? Let's see, John, VBC John, I wonder if you know Alan Fryer. He's going down to the Hamfest, and he wants to pick up, if I can find it, an RAK receiver, and he was hoping that I could meet him on Friday or Saturday down in Spartanburg. Well, I've already making a trip down there Thursday, and I'm trying to get out of not having to make another one. So if you know Alan Fryer, and wonder if you think you're going to run into him at Lawrenceville, I wonder if I could give you an RAK. But if you don't worry about it. Let's see. Interesting on your church activity there. Dave, we've got a thing down here my grandkids went to, Trunk or Treat, which was last week. And when we were out riding around today, I noticed a couple that were scheduled for Halloween, so I guess that, I always wondered why they never did ours on Halloween. They always did it like a week before or a couple days before. but never on the day unless I can't ever remember them putting it on the 13th. But anyway, so they got all candied up last week, and they won't be going anywhere else. So let's see. Well, I got here. I can't read my note. Oh yeah, cafeteria in Statesville. I was trying to remember the name of that place. Because when J&S went out of business, I wrote them, the corporate office, a letter and said, you need to build a cafeteria here. The one up there by the airport, but they never even acknowledged the letter. So, but I can't think of the name of it, and I know exactly where it is in Statesville because we stopped in it several times. But it was a pretty good one. Let's see, and I'm curious about the Titan conversion there, Cliff. Was the base radio running around 3 megacycles or something, and you just had to take out multipliers, or was basically you redid the whole thing with all new inductors and all of that there? And how about the HFO for the receiver? Is that of an era where they had a tunable receiver and a crystal control transmitter, or did it have was the receiver rock-bound too? I'd be really curious to that. I put some on 10 meters, but I never put any on 75 meters. Courier 23 was pretty easy to put on 10. All you had to do was change one crystal and retune it, and you get 23 channels on 10 meters there. And they used, I think, a 6 megacycle crystal in the second IF, and it was also in part of transmit, and all you had to do is change it to a 4 or something like that, change it from a 4 to a 6 or something like that, and voila, it was on 10 meters. But anyway, so let's see, back up to the top here. N4LQ in the group, W4MEC.
Steve, this is N4AK. Is the signal a little louder on this antenna?
Oh, yeah, about 10 times louder. Thank you, Glenn.
Standing by.
Okay. My goodness, what a difference. This N4LQ, do we have any late check-ins? Call now. All right, Lyle, N4QR. Go ahead and say hi to us and then turn it back to me.
Yeah, real good. N4QH here, yeah. We'll get on the line. About 55 watts. Just wanted to say hey. And don't forget, guys are on 6-meter capability. We'll be on Tuesday night also. N4LQ, N4QH, over.
Okay, yeah, N4QH. N4LQ. Got you in. Thanks, Lyle, for checking in. Hope you have a nice evening. Man, I tell you what, yeah, the Spanish is coming through pretty strong, and I have been hearing a lot of that lately on this frequency. And I've also been hearing some other language, and I have no idea what it is, but it's very foreign to me, and it's pretty strong too. So I'm not sure what is going on, but I think it's in this country. But there's a lot of unusual languages creeping in anyway. Well, anyway. And okay, on the Apache there, Charlie, and I know who Alan Fryer is, I believe, so maybe you and Cliff can get that arranged. I doubt if Cliff knows who he is, though, but maybe. Anyhow, Lawrenceville Hamfest, I think it's this weekend, next weekend coming up. I'd like to go, but that freezing weather does not sound very good, and I have frozen down there a few times. And speaking of freezing, I was looking on the severe weather map for tonight. They're predicting sub-freezing temperatures all the way down to Tucson, Arizona, across Texas and New Mexico, and all the way up through here and up into New York. So that's pretty good. Tucson, 24 degrees. So there we go. Well, let's take a 73 around and call this thing done for the night. And appreciate everybody that checked in, and we'll see you Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., same frequency, at 9 a.m. on 3715, the old Friends Net. Take it away, Dave, in WA4LLR, N4LQ.
All right, Steve, fine business, N4LQ, WA4LLR. Okay, enjoyed it very much. Thanks for calling the net. Great job as always. Lord willing, we'll catch up with you on Tuesday morning. So 7-3, everybody have a good one. KZ4B, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR in the group, KZ4 Bravo. Yeah, those Hispanic interference, if that's what it is, comes and goes, but it can be quite strong. We're planning on going to Lawrenceville, so we're looking forward to seeing John and Cliff and anybody else who might go. That is a good ham fest, but it does manage to be insanely cold and windy, and that is no fun. But we're planning on going warm or cold. So that is what that is. 73, thanks for calling the net, Steve. And everybody have a good week. And 7-3's all around. KZ4B clear and over to KG4IUQ. Take it away, Mark.
Thank you very much, John. Well, it's been a pleasure to be here on the net. I've got to get back to work tomorrow, and I sure do work a lot. If I didn't, I'd probably think about going to the Lawrenceville Ham Fest. Seems like whenever I get a little free time, I just have to do what I can do, and then I have to go back to work. Hope everybody has a good evening. You take care, and I'm going to say 73s. I'm going to turn it over to Brian, KN4R.
Okay, Mark, very good. KG4IUQ in the group, KN4R, returning very good. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful time down at Lawrenceville. And let's see, there was something. Alan Fryer, he's N3 Bravo Japan, N3 BJ, and he's a good guy. He came by a couple weeks ago and picked up a RAK and an RAL from me. He got the RAL working, so I'm assuming maybe he is looking. The RAK wasn't in as good a shape, so anyway, it sounds like he's trying to complete the set. So he's a really good guy. He's a member of the boat anchor group at Shelby, so I hope somebody can work out something for him. So anyway, 73 is to everybody, and enjoyed it, and enjoy your Monday. This is KN4R, and back over to Cliff, WB4NKL, KN4R.
KN4R, it's WB4NKL. I do know Alan, and I'm sure John does too. But if he don't, he can bring it, and we'll locate Alan together. So I've known Alan for years. I run into him mostly at the Ham Fest, and sit up beside of him and all that. Glenn, your signal really came up when you did different antenna. It jumped way up here. And Charlie, the tram wasn't real easy. A friend gave it to me, and I got it because it had a Collins filter in it that I needed for my 75 S3. So it sat on the shelf here for a few years, and one cold day, I got to looking at it, and I pulled it off the shelf and had to rewind. The transmitter was pretty easy. I had to put a different pi network in it, coil and 2 capacitors, and then there was a coil between the oscillator and the final. It had to rewind for 75 meters, and then the receiver is tunable, and it's got enough tune range to cover 3885 down to 3715, but it's a dual conversion. I had to hunt up a crystal that would heterodyne it into 75 meters, and then I had to rewind the front end coils. not an easy project. And I should have documented everything because 2 or 3 people was asking me about changing one, and now I'd have to go back and look it all over again, and I should have wrote down how many turns and what capacitors, but it's not an easy project. It's just, you know, it's something to challenge me, so I jumped in on it. So 73s, thanks for calling it, Steve, and we'll see some of you down at Lawrenceville. K1 VVCs, WB4 NKL.
Very good. Look forward to seeing you down there. And Charlie, yeah, I know Alan very, very well. Known him for years. Feel free to bring along whatever you've got, and I'll bring it down there for him. Just send him an email and let him know that I have it, and no problem at all with that. So that's about it here. Over to you, Glenn. You sound a lot better. N4AK, K1VVC.
Yeah, K1VVC in the group, November 4 Alpha Kilo. Still a lot of interference coming in. I appreciate the signal report. I went from a inverted V with the center, which was not very high, and I went to it's a half-wave in-fed antenna in a configuration of the inverted L. So this past, some of the other antennas worked a little better. So anyway, I got more antennas than I need, I suppose, but I'm glad this one worked. Thanks very much, Steve, for doing the net for us, and also, Lee, I appreciate you calling the nets for us also, and Charlie. So, Boone, I think he's still in here, WA4EVK, N4AK.
N4AK, WA4EVK. Yep, sure am. You did really come up with that antenna change, although I'm just down the road, so to speak. Good to hear Lyle, N4QR, come in there, and I'd like to reinforce his invitation to everybody to come run 6 to meet us on 50.4 a.m. on Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. And with that, I'm going to send it on to Lee, K4VWD, WA4EVK.
Okay, Boone, WA4EVK. This is K4VWD. Well, Glenn, you just sound a whole lot better. Just a lot better. A lot stronger signal, and the audio was up. Just sounds great. And thank you, Steve, for doing the net. I do appreciate it. And Tuesday, when we meet, I got a question that I'm going to ask now to give y'all a chance to think about it. I would like to know, and it's about capacitors, and not just power supply, but all the capacitors and receivers, transmitters, doesn't matter. We all have radios set aside, and we go turn them on every once in a while. So my question is how long do you let a radio sit before you turn it on to get it the voltage on everything? And second question is like it, how long do you leave it on once you turn it on to get the voltage to the capacitors? So that's just something I was thinking about today and thought I'd throw that out for Tuesday's net. So I will say and I didn't copy Lyle at all. I could tell he was in there most of the time, but I could not copy. So I'm not sure whether Bruce is signed or not. I kind of think he did, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to turn it to him, but if he doesn't get it, pick it up, Charlie. So, N4WD in the group, K4VWD, 73, God bless.
All right, N4WD, we're still here. The band is starting to switch a little bit on us, and that cold front's riding from Texas all the way up to
With that being said, everybody keep warm. Wear your deep socks. God bless. Take care. I'll catch you later this week. Rain down she comes, Charlie. W4MEC and 4WD.
Okay, Bruce, N4WD in the group W4MEC. Oh boy, that's unusual for this net this afternoon. Reminds me of on that Cliff, when you talk about converting that tram, one of the problems with the Courier 23 is it has 11 megacycle IF, and there is a Spanish shortwave station. It must be a gazillion watts, and there are times when you cannot hear anything but that Spanish station coming through that radio, and it actually has a trap in it, but it just doesn't touch it. It's so strong. So that's the Achilles heel to that thing. I guess I could offset it a little bit, but and go that route, but especially running on 10 meters with it, because it wouldn't make any difference. CB band it would, but 10 meters no. But anyway, let's see. Okay, on John and Cliff, I'll first thing I got to do is go find the thing, and I told them I had a spare one, but I can't remember where it is. I've got 2 storage bays, and I need to go tomorrow and find the darn thing and confirm it's still there. So I'll bring it with me to Thursday if it turns up. So anyway, good to talk to everybody today, and we'll look for you on Tuesday morning, probably with less DXQRM. So maybe our carriers are tearing them up a little bit too. Who knows? All right, 7-3 all. We'll see you later. Let's see, N4LQ in the group, W4MEC.
All right, Charlie. Yeah, I think the gray line caught up with us. I don't know if it gets any worse. We may have to go back an hour or something like that. Keep an eye on it. Anyway, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you Tuesday. 73s. This is N4LQ closing the Old Friends Net.